Hello, and welcome to the Monitoring Student Activity and Performance portion of the Blackboard Black Belt course. The objectives of this video series are to explore the evaluation tools available in Blackboard, learn how to create columns in the Grade Center, effectively manage the Grade Center, and learn how to grade offline. In this video, we will be covering the evaluation tools found under the Control Panel section of the course menu. Let's begin by navigating to the Control Panel section of the Blackboard course menu. Click Evaluation to expand this menu item. Your course will likely have three options in this area: Course Reports, Performance Dashboard, and SCORM Reports. However, we are going to begin by demonstrating one of the most powerful evaluation tools, the Retention Center. So what is the Retention Center? The Retention Center provides an easy way for you to discover which students in your course are at risk by alerting you of students who have fallen below one or more rules. Let's get started by making the Retention Center available. As you've learned in previous videos, you can make course tools available by going to Customization under the Course Management section of the course menu. Then, select Tool Availability. Next, locate the Retention Center in the Tools list. Place a check mark next to the tool to make it available. This is one way to turn on the Retention Center tool, but let me show you another way. Begin by opening the Global Navigation menu, and then click on the Retention Center icon in the left menu. Here, you will see a list of all the courses in which you are listed as the instructor. Courses that you are currently tracking using the Retention Center are listed at the top, and courses that you are not currently tracking are grayed out like these. Simply select the course that you want to begin tracking with the Retention Center. Then click the Start Tracking Now button. Now, if we go back to Course Management and click on Evaluation, we will see that the Retention Center is now listed. Once we click on the Retention Center link, we will see that it is preloaded with 4 default rules. This at-risk table displays only students enrolled in the class who are currently at risk in one or more of the defined rules. The default rules in the Retention Center are Missed Deadline, Grades Alert, Activity Alert, and Access Alert. The Missed Deadline rule alerts you if students have missed one or more assignment deadlines by more than 0 days. The Grades Alert rule alerts you if a student's total grade is 25% below the class average. The Activity Alert rule alerts you if the student's last course access was more than 5 days ago. Finally, the Access Alert rule alerts you if the student's activity within the course in the last week is 20% below the course average. Keep in mind that all 4 of these rules are completely customizable. We will discuss how to customize the Retention Center rules in more detail later in the video. A red dot indicates which area the student is currently at risk in. Multiple red dots per student indicates that this particular student is at risk for more than one area. Clicking on the red dot expands the selection to give you more detailed information for this student in the area that he or she is currently at risk in. For example, by clicking on the red dot under the Missed Deadlines column, we can see how many missed deadlines this student has. We can click on the View Late Submissions link to see exactly which assignments are late and for how many days they are late. Under the Grades Alert column, we can see the student's grades and how much lower it is compared to the class average. The Activity Alert and the Access Alert columns give similar information. The red bar at the top of the page provides an overview of all the at-risk students in your course. Clicking on this bar breaks up the overview into its component parts. For example, By clicking on the bar, we can see the number of students who have missed deadlines in the course, the number of students with low grades, how many students have not contributed, and the number of students that haven't even logged in yet. From this view, we can send an email to all the students who are currently at risk in this particular area. To send an email, simply click on the area in the risk bar. Then hover over Notify to display its menu and click on Students. Of course, you can customize this email before sending it if you'd like. Clicking the Back to Overview hyperlink returns the bar to the overview. From here, we can click on the View Students Not at Risk hyperlink to see a list of students enrolled in the course who are not at risk. Let's return to the at-risk view. Whether you are viewing students currently at risk or the students who are not at risk, you can always click directly on the student's name to see a detailed view of that particular student's retention center status. From this screen, you can choose to monitor the student, which simply places a snapshot of that student's performance directly on the Retention Center's homepage. From the Student's Retention Center status page, you can also choose to send the student a pre-populated email informing them that their performance in the course has triggered an alert. Of course, you can customize this email before sending it if you would like. From the Student's Retention Center status page, we can also view how the student is performing on the defined risk factors that you have set up. You can also add a private note regarding the student if you'd like. Private notes will appear at the bottom of this page under the Notification History area. Any emails that you send to students from within the Retention Center are also stored under this Notification History area. If we go back to the Retention Center home page, we can see at the bottom of the page there is a Your Course Activity section. The Your Course Activity section provides a one-stop collection of your activity, engagement, and participation in the course. In this section, you will see how many items need grading, how you are engaging your students by posting and commenting in discussions, blogs, and journals, and the last time you created new content or posted an announcement. Hovering over the info icon gives the instructor various pedagogical best practices. Let's look at how to customize the rules in the Retention Center. Begin by clicking on the Customize button in the top right of the page. From here, you can see the 4 default rules that are set up in the Retention Center. Let's edit the default grade rule to alert us when the student's grade is 10% below the course average. To do this, first hover over the rule you want to edit so that the option menu icon appears. Click the option menu icon and then click Edit from the option menu. From here, you can see that we have a variety of options that we can modify for this grade rule. Include the rule name and whether or not we want to include the rule in the risk table. Selecting No might be desired if we want to set up a temporary rule. Under the Rule Criteria, select Grade section. We can modify this grade rule to include the total grade or a specific item. The Define Criteria section allows us to set the rule to a specific grade value. For example, if the grade is above or below a set number of points or a percentage. However, the default rule uses the last option, Use Average Grades. It is set to alert the instructor if the student's grade is below the class average grade by 25%. We just want to modify that to 10% and click the Submit button. Here we can see that our default rule has been modified. We can also create custom rules by hovering over the Create Rule menu and choosing the desired rule type: Course Access Rule, Course Activity Rule, Grade Rule, or Missed Deadline Rule. Each rule type has its own set of rule criteria. For this demonstration, let's create a new grade rule to monitor the students in the class who are currently getting an A. Again, by hovering over the Create Rule menu and choosing Grade Rule Type. Let's name the rule A Students and select No on the Include in Risk Table option, because after all, these students aren't really at risk. Under the Rule Criteria section, let's leave the Monitor Final Grade and the Set Grade Value option selected. For the Set Grade Value criteria, let's choose the grade as above 90% and then change the last option from points to percent. To save the rule, click the Submit button. If we navigate back to the Retention Center home page, we will see that our rule does not show up in the at-risk table, but it does show up on the right side of the page under the Other Information that you are monitoring section. We can see how many students currently meet this rule. Clicking on the number opens a pop-up window displaying each of the students in the class who currently have a 90% or above. Clicking on the Notified Selected button and selecting Students will allow you to email these students to give them a little positive reinforcement. Of course, you can also customize this email before sending it if you'd like. Let's move on to the Performance Dashboard. Go to the Course Management area and click on Evaluation. From here, select the Performance Dashboard link. The Performance Dashboard provides an up-to-date report on the activity for all students. Information in the Performance Dashboard appears in a table format. Clicking on a column heading or the caret icon sorts the table data by that column. There are two types of columns in the Performance Dashboard: View-only columns and interactive columns. The View-only columns cannot be changed, but simply allow the instructor to review the data. The View-only columns include the three name columns, the role, last access, and days since the last course access. The interactive columns include Review Status, Adaptive Release, Discussion Board, Customized Retention Center, and View Grades. Clicking on the data in any of these columns opens a new window with more student information. For example, let's look at the Review Status column. If we click on the number displayed here, a new window pops up displaying a list of all the items in the course that have a Review Status option. It indicates which of those items have marked reviewed and those that have not marked as reviewed. Moreover, this table shows whether these items are visible or not. An eye icon, like this, indicates that the student can view the item. If the student cannot view the item, the eye icon will have a red line through it. Clicking on the folder icon in the Adaptive Release column displays a course map for users showing every content item in the course. Items use icons to indicate whether content items and folders are visible or invisible to the user and whether the items have been reviewed or not. This is a great place to look if you get an email from a student stating they cannot find a particular item in your course. That item might not be visible to them for some reason. An icon key can be found at the bottom of this page. Clicking on the number under the Discussion Board column allows the instructor to view all discussion board posts by a specific student, as well as a few forum statistics. Clicking on the name of the forum takes you to the student's submission. The Customized Retention Center column shows how many of the at-risk rules each student has triggered. Clicking on the number takes you directly to the student's Retention Center page. Finally, clicking on the icon under the View Grades column simply takes you to the Grade Center. Here you can view the full Grade Center for the entire course. The last topic we are going to cover in this video is the course reports. Return to the Course Management menu. Under Evaluation, select Course Reports. The Course Reports function allows the instructor to run a variety of reports on the course and to save those reports to the content collection or download the report to the computer. The default course reports found in Blackboard include reports for the course as a whole and reports for specific users. You might find these reports handy when you're interested in finding out which parts of your course are getting the most traffic, what time of days of each week your course is most accessed, or course activity and statistics for a struggling student. That concludes Part 1 in the Monitoring Student Activity and Performance in the Blackboard Black Belt course. In this video, we learned how to monitor our students' performance using the Retention Center, Performance Dashboard, and course reports. In the next video, we'll be exploring the power of the Grade Center. See you soon in Part 2.